Hey everybody, good morning. Let's see if the sound is working. I know the visual is, so where's my clicker? There it is. Let me see. Make sure sound working. Yes, we are. Good. You never know, Saturday morning. Hello everybody. Let's check in as usual. Quickie on a Saturday morning, which are getting longer and longer as each day goes on, but I hope you can bear with me. I'll try to get through as quick as I can, but it's going to take more than 10 minutes. So first of all, and yes, my clicker is not working. Sounds about math, money, and freedom, but I need it. Hold on a second. I need to unplug this and then plug it in again, and then normally it works. Yeah. There you go. I'm not the same without my little clicker. So, math, money, and freedom, and of course, not financial advice. So let's talk about the week in review real quick. I'll blow it up for a second and then jump right back. So Bitcoin, back under 50K. Inflation, on fire. Alts, bleeding bad. FUD everywhere. And the smart money continue to pound the table. I think the net takeaway, everybody, is this bull market is definitely going into 2022. That's what everybody's saying. It's going to be a good year. And if you expect something to happen, and if everybody expects the same thing to happen, it's not going to happen. That's just the way markets work. So I think that was all pretty clear as well. And we had a great discussion yesterday with Rob and Ben from Digital Asset News and Into the Cryptoverse. And I hope you guys all enjoyed it on Ben's channel next Friday, 12 noon Pacific, back on mine. So that's kind of where we are. But it's kind of weird. Bitcoin is exactly where it was last Saturday when I did this. So let's see what else is going on. So the bears are still out, but we've bottomed. We've bottomed pretty nicely. And let's have a look at what that looks like. So per the chart here, it's like this 47,300 level is kind of where it bottomed. I did say that I believed on DCA yesterday we would have a positive weekend. Things would rebound because it's unlikely without any more terrible news. It's unlikely that it would go lower. So here we are. I think we're going to consolidate a little bit sideways, but the key level to get above is 50K. Once we reclaim 50K, then it's onwards and upwards, but that could take another couple of days. It could happen tonight, could happen tomorrow night. This thing moves very fast. And just remember, look at this chart again. We were at 52,000 just 3 or 4 days ago. So that's how quick this thing moves. So let's talk about some other stuff. As we all know, the Bitcoin open interest was wiped out. And the real important message here is not so much around the open interest being wiped out. It's down 50% from its peak a month ago. But, and I feel bad for the over-leveraged longs. A little bit of, I don't know, well wishes to everybody out there that lost everything. Literally, when you see half of all these leverage longs being wiped out, these are the people that get sucked into the Bitcoin space. They get their Bybit account. They put everything on there thinking it's easy to 100x my money overnight. And half of them lose everything. So, you've heard me say this before. Just be careful, everybody. Investing is a blood sport. Do not play with fire unless you're skilled in the art of playing with fire. Now, the deleveraging events are significant because in the crypto market, they give participants propensity for leverage, and the volatility of the asset class obviously is very attractive. But deleveraging, which is what happened, gives way to further upside in crypto. So I believe a short-term rebound, it's not guaranteed, but it's right there in the future. So let's watch this carefully. Now, inflation news, you all heard about the numbers. Greg Foss, big fan of his. You've seen our video together. He said if CPI was measured using the original formula in 1980, it would be 14%. 15% has been my number all year, so that's pretty close. And it was reported as 6.8% year over year today. And that was still the highest print in 39 years, 1982. So transitory is for fools. Now, related to that, Adam Beck, he is a person that knows. He says, all your fiat is going to zero. Pretty profound statement, but we know that it'll be a gradual move. But eventually, it'll just be eroded away. That's the nature of money printing. Money printing can't stop. Your fiat is going to zero. So even if there are volatile times in Bitcoin, like now, it doesn't matter. It's not going to erode away. It's going to go up. It's programmed to go up. The only way is up with a lot of volatility in between, a lot of jagged edges. So just be careful, everybody, as you play in this game. So let's talk about who is getting nervous from all of this adoption of Bitcoin. So kill what threatens you. Obviously, kill or be killed. This is from the IMF. And they believe emerging markets and developing economies face more immediate and acute risks of currency substitution through crypto assets. The so-called cryptoization, capital flow management measures will need to be in place to fight this cryptoization. It's their kind of new word. Obviously, they have El Salvador in their gun sights. They are not happy with what's happening. They're threatening the IMF, World Bank, central banks all around the world, etc. But this needs to happen. If you talk to any smart people, currency, fiat currency, can work alongside cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, stablecoins, etc. So it shouldn't be a problem. But again, IMF is very nervous. So when you have a bunch of shitheads like this being really nervous, that tells you it's a good thing. So that's just my take. Sorry for using that bad word. Now, Dan Morehead, he came out on Friday, whatever is kind of freaking out. He spoke about Bitcoin being the most asymmetric generational trade of his lifetime. Now, Dan Pantera has spent his life looking for asymmetric bets. He spent the last 9-10 years in Bitcoin and crypto, and he found one. So someday, financial gravity will resume functioning, per his words, when the Fed stops manipulating the bond market. You know, there's a lot of people out there that still have 60-40 stock bond portfolios. Greg Foss talks about this all the time. That has to change. These are negative yielding. Inflation is not transitory. So if you're getting 1.5% on your bond and inflation is really 14%, 6.8%, 15%, whatever you want to call it, you are losing money. Your ice cube is shrinking very, 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 very fast. So be careful, everybody. And his basic take is you might want to hedge the bond bubble with the Bitcoin crypto assets as a big hedge, and stuff I've been talking about for a long time as well. So buying crypto with only $3 trillion market cap seems like a fantastic hedge. So he believes $3 trillion is a spit in the bucket compared to the size of the bond market. And that money has to flow over. It has to. And it's just a matter of time. Now, speaking of something related to that, Mike McGlone, he believes Bitcoin is going to have a good year in 2022. He believes it's going to go to $100,000. And he believes it's going to outperform stocks. Real simple. So basically, his whole thesis is the renewed impetus from the Federal Reserve. And remember, when I talk about the Federal Reserve, I know we've got a lot of people in Europe and all over the world. It's the same thing. Federal Reserve is kind of the central issuing authority for fiat currencies. They have them in the Bank of England and the ECB in Europe, and I'm sure there's a Central Bank of Australia somewhere, and China, Japan. They all do the same thing. So although I'm using a US-specific case, the money printing is happening all over the world. Now, the Federal Reserve is going to take away that magic punch bowl, which is the continued money printing. They might. And declining bond yields will point to a macroeconomic environment in 2022 that favors Bitcoin and Ethereum, said McGlone. That was kind of his key thesis. And 2022 may be bumpy for stocks, but believes a lot of money will flow to crypto, and he remains very, very bullish. I think he also mentioned the potential of a tightening of the monetary policy. He expects this will bring a normalization in the stock market returns, so you won't be getting 25% per year anymore. Remember, if the stock market returns 25% per year, but currency debasement is 15%, the real returns are only 10%. And that's kind of what he was trying to talk about here in this article. So we'll see what happens as we go forward. Now, Cathie Wood, she's back. She also pounded her fist on the table, saying that she's very, very, very bullish on Bitcoin, believes it can hit over 500,000, 550,000 by the year 2025. But she also believes Ethereum will outperform it. And she argues the fact that as Ethereum goes to proof of stake, and the fact that it's the underpinning of all of DeFi and the NFT growth, it's just going to outperform Bitcoin. So that was her thought. And Mike McGlone said the exact same thing. And he believes, kind of like Mike Novogratz, getting all my mics confused, and Mike McGlone are kind of thinking the same way and believing that when the Fed starts to taper in a lot of ways, what you're seeing really is Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin. And if you look at the Ethereum price, Ethereum still trades bullish compared to Bitcoin. He also said it's a tech bet, technology bet, and we can still rally hard in Q4. That was a surprising thing for me. He doesn't believe this Q4 is over. You know, we have 20 days left till the end of the year. A lot can happen in the crypto market in 20 days, but he thinks there could still be a big rally between now and year end. So we'll watch for that. Now, folks are freaking out. All right. This week, folks are freaking out. And the last 30 days have been pretty brutal for a lot of the altcoins. So this is just a kind of a short list of some of the names. You can see very few green spots, if at all. But basically, some of the honorable mentions. Cadena is down over 64%. VeChain 55%, Fantom 45%, Chainlink 44%, Orchid 43%, Polkadot 42%, Cardano 38%, FTT 33%, XLM 29%, Solana is down 28%. So it's been hard, but remember, that's the nature of this beast, and you're beginning to see some things get hit a lot harder than others. Now, let's talk about some risk and even how very sophisticated players like Michael Saylor play the game. He said in an interview on Yahoo Finance that the only legitimate risk to Bitcoin is a true black swan, and that is an unknown unknown. We don't know what it is. Now, that means if it's an unknown unknown, that means it's not a quantum attack, it's not a government ban or something else. It's something that nobody knows about. Other than that, there's no risk. He said, has it been hacked? No. China banned it. Did it ban the miners? Did it affect it? No. Every copy has failed. It's been through everything, hell and back every single time, and it's like it just bounces back. I think it was Will Clemente said it's like a starfish. You chop off the arm, another one grows back real fast. But what's interesting though is when you look at the MicroStrategy purchases, in 2020 they 3x their money, but in 2021 they are basically at a slight loss. In fact, based on the numbers today, they're almost a break even. So you can see that their dollar cost averaging has also been hard. It's been a long year. They're still up they've still 3x their money on the Bitcoin investment, at least from the 2020 investments, but the 2021s are at a loss. So everybody out there, even the most sophisticated investors, aren't able to DCA at a profit right now. They're not able, especially with the type of money they're moving around as well. It's very, very difficult with that moving market. So they can't exactly buy the dips like we can. But interesting to note that statistic. And that was from, I think it was Wall Street Pro who put that together. So again, it's hard, but the future is bright. Better to have some and wait, even if you take a little bit of an interim loss, and go forward. Let's talk about Fantom for a second. Fantom TVL is tanking like the price. So it's very important in this space is you have to look at incentives, and incentives drive the action. Here you see the huge spike in Fantom TVL. That drove the price. Now the TVL is tanking hard, and Fantom rewards aren't what they used to be. And that's part of the problem. So I always say follow the money. Look at things like TVLs. It's a critical metric as well to determine where things are going, and try to get ahead of the game. Fantom right now I think is about $1.50. Still languishing. We have other names too. Let's talk about the big one that has given me a lot of heartache over the last 48 hours. A lot of people were freaking out, and somehow everybody thinks I'm responsible for Solana or I have all the answers. No, I just think it is one of the best names to hold right now. Now, everybody is always looking to hit the panic button and jump out the window at any sign of anything else. But this came out a couple of times. People have been talking about it since Thursday. Solana was hit by a DDoS, denial of service attack, and the network is down, network's crashed, etc. Well, no. Again, double click into the news. Don't read people who are trying to scare people on Twitter. Twitter is a great place to learn a lot of stuff, but it's also full of crap too, so be careful. So it wasn't a DDoS attack. It was heavy congestion. Has anybody ever been in traffic before? Heavy congestion. And this was due to the Radium IDO again. So transactions were delayed, but there was no outage at all. So in words from the Solana CoFounder, Anatoly, he said it wasn't a DDoS. It was just a truckload of congestion. A lot of transactions. And that's also very easy to see when you look at the traffic. Zero downtime, not a denial of service attack. So every don't freak out. Now, it did affect the price a little bit. Solana right now is trading at 169, and I nibbled on a little bit, but I kind of stopped nibbling now because I've used all my fiat. So that's where we are. But who knows if it's a bottom or not, but I think we're getting pretty close. And it's also interesting to watch the correlation between Ethereum and Solana sometimes. The movements tend to move in tandem, but they tend to be steeper with the smaller alts because of the volume. And the bigger the alt, the less they swing down, especially on a percentage basis when you look at that too. So in other news, let's talk about layer one funding. A lot of people say, ooh, Solana's bad, it's venture backed. Well, look at this little report here. Here you see, this is from the block. The big venture capital rounds also went to Algorand, Avalanche, Binance, Parity, and Solana, and a couple of other smaller random names, but they're the big ones. So the key here, though, is not to say, well, there are many chains that are venture capital focused, but watch the money behind who is heavy in what. So the big takeaway here from this one is A16Z and Andreessen Horowitz. They are the top venture capital in the space, and they are heavy in one play. I won't say what that is. A lot of other VCs are investing in other plays too. Again, we'll see who win. Follow the money, follow the smart money. Look at the TVL indicators. That's all I can say. All the answers are there for you. In that, I want to thank the moderators for being out there, and hope everybody's having a great Saturday. And with that, I'm going to wrap up and let you guys get back to your weekends. I will be on tomorrow with our Q&A, where I answer your top questions in great detail, so you have some good guidance and advice going forward. So again, thank you to the Big Apple and Caligula and Kiwi Robin and Misa and Kate and everybody else out there keeping us safe. And by the way, one other thing, I was expecting a lot of backlash from my exit strategy video yesterday. It was extremely well received. So if you want more of those, let me know. And I have a whole bunch of models built, ready to go. So let me know if you want more of those exit strategy models, because I do believe we're getting to the time in the market where it's time to start shedding losers, taking some profits, and moving away and concentrating monies in the winning protocols. So thanks everybody for being here. Happy Saturday. I'll see you all tomorrow.